in coming up with the idea for Cars, it was like putting my two loves together, kind of for the first time. The two halves of my family, my mom being an artist and my dad being a car guy.
When the cars came off turn 4 and they're coming down to take the green, I said, boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys.
First of all, we want to animate these characters. You've seen it. It's this cartoon.
Yeah.
But we want to do it in a way where the moves, it's like we do our homework.
Radiator Springs, the glorious jewel strung on the necklace of Route 66. The Mother Road.
We researched a lot about Route 66. And there was one author named Michael Wallace who wrote the definitive book on Route 66, Route 66, the Mother Road. We called him up. And he was happy to talk to us, and he came out to Pixar.
John wanted everyone to learn as much as they possibly could about the road and experience the road. So I had to take them out on the road.
And we took a trip down Route 66, and I think that let us in on the sort of feeling in the world that was this movie Cars out on the road there. But it was also like a team-building sort of bonding experience.
This is going to be a wide open trip. There are no holds barred. You're going to meet a lot of people you might not agree with.
If you ever plan to motor west, take the highway, it's my way, it's the best.
Halfway between Chicago and Los Angeles, right here. Right here.
A new zany character coming along, and there's one coming right here, right now.
More than 2,000 miles all the way. Oh, get your kicks on Route 66.
I'm not sure if I can do it like that.
Up here on stage is Mr. Jonas Rivera. He has 1 hour to eat 72 ounces of prime Texas top sirloin. Let's give Jonas a little round of big Texan encouragement. Yeah, man, do it.
Is your shop closed for today?
No, it's open.
I need a haircut really bad. Make it nice and short.
He wants it all cut off.
We take the highway, that's the best.
It's not the destination, it's the journey, you know. It's all right to get lost, it's all right to spend time, it's all right to stop and, you know, do what you need to do.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You can still do it. Damn it.
One of the things that inspired us the most, that we didn't expect, was we saw a documentary on the creation of the interstate highway system. After these highways were built, what happened to the old highway towns when the new interstate came and bypassed them?
My name is Angel Valadez Delgadillo. When we were bypassed at about this time of the day, 1:30, 2 o'clock, the world stopped. The world just forgot about us. But it didn't come back to normal for 10 long years.
What happened? The town got bypassed just to save 10 minutes of driving.
When you begin to see your community die instantly, and No one cares whether you sink or swim. There was no reason to get out of bed.
Before the interstate, people would take car trips as a vacation. I know I did when I was a child growing up.
We'd drive early morning and we'd stop about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, check in a motel and let the kids swim and play and feed them and put them in bed, and we'd get them up early the next morning and put them in the back of the car. We'd flatten it out. My wife always had a camera on her shoulder. We'd stop and smell the roses. We were driving. We'd go through a little town. There'd be an art show or something displayed out there. We'd stop.
Cars is a very personal story to me. Not only is it inspired by my love of cars, not only is it inspired by my dad, who was a parts manager at a Chevrolet dealership, but it's inspired by something that happened to me in my life.
Sheriff Woody!
I directed Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2. By the time I was done with Toy Story 2, it was 1999. 9 years had passed. We had 4 boys. And my wife said, John, we've supported you in making all these films and the building of Pixar and all like that. But you better be careful. Because one day you're going to wake up and your boys are going off to college and you will have missed it. So I took the summer off. My wife and I bought a used motorhome, and I wanted to stay off the interstate highway system and travel America. And you know what happened? We got so close as a family. It changed my life. I came back knowing what I wanted this movie to be about, is a character discovering what I discovered, that the journey in life is a reward, And I started thinking, and all of a sudden the story just started coming out. It's got to be about a race car.
Speed. I am Speed. 1 winner, 42 losers. I eat losers for breakfast.
Imagine this being a personality of a character. It's like nothing else matters but achieving it as fast as you can, winning, getting that championship. So this is the perfect character to all of a sudden be forced to slow down.
Look at that. Look, and they're driving right by. They don't even know what they're missing.
That's what this character needs to discover. And so we started taking and merging the two worlds that of the automobile that we love so much, racing and Route 66. So I want to introduce you to Jerry Nadeau.
Racers are very rare breeds. They're not like every normal person in the world. I think, the speed attracts me. So some tracks, it's good to run the bottom, like Bristol. Once you feel the car right about here, once you feel like it's in the racetrack, then it's like back on the gas.
John has always been a car guy, and I think he's always had a great love for the art and the style side of cars. I don't know that he had much background in racing before we got to know each other.
We wanted to make the broadcasting of the racing authentic. So we contacted Artie Kempner. Artie Kempner was this director.
And that's something for you all probably to think about when you're animating the cars when the wreck happens. What these guys go through.
He became one of our greatest advisors. And one of the things he taught us is how important the broadcasters are.
This is what it's all about, a three-way battle for the lead with 10 to go.
One of the greatest voices of racing is Darrell Waltrip.
I've never been to any race, whether it's a go-kart race in a parking lot or a race at Daytona or a race at Indy, that I didn't get excited about.
Watch this, here he goes. Craven gets that high right out next to that wall. Watch.
Right there.
Close.
Right there in the middle.
Cuts down. He's going to make it down. He's going to get down under him. That's not the way to do it. I don't know. Come on, baby. Come on.
I was so inspired by your broadcasts, that you, Artie directing, and all the Fox team. For the first time, you felt the excitement on TV that you feel at a track.
Who's going to get off? Here he comes. Here he comes. He's got him this time. It's going to be a drag race. Wow. They touch. They touch. Craven got him. Craven got him. Craven got him. And Craven. All right. What a finish. Have you ever? No, I've never. Wow.
My name's Mater.
Mater? To a mater without the toe. I said, mater.
Yeah, like tuh mater, but without the tuh.
So now, how'd you get that name?
Well, when I was a little old fella, I was raised up on the farm, and we had a garden big enough to feed about half of Catawba County, and Grandma, she'd take me to the barn every morning. We'd milk cows and one thing and another, and if I wasn't eating a tomato, I throw them at the hogs and just terrorizing everything I could.
How long have you been doing this? How long have you been
promoting NASCAR? I've been involved in the racing business for 50 years.
Was this in the days when the guys were still running a little moonshine?
Oh, the moonshine was flowing freely from the North Carolina mountains at that time.
Was it really?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I bought one of the moonshine cars. Because, when you got caught, there was a federal offense and they seized the car.
Right.
And then they auctioned it off. And I won a lot of bets with that car.
As drivers sweat to learn their way around the speedway, certification goes on in the inspection shed. 89 entries for the Labor Day Classic are torn apart under the eyes of NASCAR, National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing Inspectors, who certify that every important detail of these cars is stock, that every part is available to the American public and listed in the manufacturer's parts book for that car and for that year.
Tell me about the Hudson Hornet. What made the Hudson Hornet so special?
The Hudson Hornet was the very first car that had tri-power. It was so low and so sleek at this time in '52, and with the 3 deuces on the carburetor, it outrun the Word of God.
My introduction to some of the people in Charlotte outside the corporate office might not have happened if it hadn't been for John, and his ability to seek people out and introduce himself to interesting people is something that, it's a rare skill.
His daddy won the championship in the Hudson Hornet.
He's been here in the darn infield with us for as many years as I've been here also.
We're doing this movie with animated characters, and it's got a Hudson Hornet, 51 Hudson Hornet in it.
If he got a 51 Hudson Hornet in it, Marshall Teague drove it.
Marshall Teague passes Herb Thomas for the lead. Teague, driving number 6, owns both cars. 30-year-old Teague, 225-pound native son of Daytona Beach, was last year's winner.
Tell me what this thing is.
It's a piece of Goodyear rubber. That's the marbles that end up,
they call marbles.
And it looks just like a marble.
Tires are soft to get hot and sticky, and chunks of rubber just fly off of these. And there you are.
Got me a little smile there.
Yeah,
You're doing good.
We've been getting to your smile.
All right, that's good.
We had to do more to the model and give it more controls to get your smile.
You got more talent in one lug nut than a lot of cars has got in their whole body.
Really? Oh,
But you're stupid.
Excuse me?
This ain't a one-man deal, kid.
We did not take no for an answer. We used to talk at Chamber of Commerce meetings, how do we get the economy back? I stuck to Route 66 because after the bypass, tourists began to trickle back into Seligman. Next thing you know, we had formed the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona. The state made Route 66 historic December of the same year. We got the attention of our Arizona Department of Transportation, and the rest is history.
Route 66 is a metaphor. It's a symbol for a lot of roads. It just so happens it's the one that most of us have addressed for many, many reasons.
So now we're going to put our things down, a little piece of Walmart plastic, a little piece of Today, with our devil's rope, with our juniper, and then Bud's going to
put the stone in the sepulcher, a Gallup brick fired up that we got at Dennis Hopper's old motel in the Whispering Pines on the Mother Road. There you go.
Smashes to ashes and rusty dust.
We all discovered something we weren't expecting, you know? It's just like life. You start down the path not knowing where it's going to lead you, but you enjoy the ride.